So a bunch of new trailers just dropped, and I want to get into the Martin Scorsese controversy. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Alright, so a bunch new trailers dropped this week, and gotta tell you, most of them aren't looking good. And it's a couple of big titles. So there's 3 in total, but before I get into those, let me just give you a quick reminder that you can listen to the podcast in the iHeartRadio app. Just type in The Show Presents Super Dario World. You'll find it right there, or you can find it on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube as Super Dario World Podcast. Now, tomorrow I will be doing my second podcast in Spanish. It will be loaded tomorrow. Again, you can find that in my independent channel, Super Dario World Podcast, on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. All right. So, now, there were also any comments, questions, suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram. Easiest way for you to contact me. All right. So, whole bunch of trailers dropped during the week. And, all right. So, I'll get the bad ones out of the way. I just saw the new trailer for the new upcoming Charlie's Angels movie. I gotta tell you, it looks really rough. Now this one's directed, it's written and directed by Elizabeth Banks, which she's been in a whole bunch of stuff, but you might remember her maybe most recently. I think she was in Power Rangers. She played Rita Repulsa, but from the 40-Year-Old Virgin, she was a crazy blonde chick, the really kinky one. I think that's what jump-started her. Well, that's what brought her to fame, I think, the 40-Year-Old Virgin. So, Elizabeth Banks. I've never seen anything she's directed, but I do not like at all how this movie's looking. She might be a great director. I don't know. Just from this trailer, did not like it. Now, the movie stars Kristen Stewart, Noah Centineo, and it has Patrick Stewart too. And what's the name of this other girl? Oh, and the Pink Ranger from the newest Power Rangers, which sucked. Good actress. So the movie sucked. Nice girl. Movie sucked. Anyway, so it's supposed to be an action comedy, and Naomi Scott, that was her name. So Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, and Ella Balinska are supposed to be the new Charlie's Angels. From what I could tell in the trailer, it's not so much the story, because the original show was campy. The movies that came out in, I think, the early 2000s with Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, also kind of campy. And it's not that. I don't have the issue with that. The problem is that the action scenes suck. Also, I don't believe that any of these actresses actually know how to fight. Now, I'll give credit to, for example, in the 2000 ones, Lucy Liu can fight. I believe that girl can kick my ass. Drew Barrymore, I believe, is insane, and I believe she could also kick my ass, and Cameron Diaz, kind of in the same wheelhouse. These 3, not really. And from what I saw in the fight scenes in the trailer, they had to speed them up a lot, and it just looks really bad. Really stupid. Kristen Stewart, I have no idea why she's still making movies. I haven't seen her in a good movie since Into the Wild, and that performance was, well, let's just say she wasn't a highlight of the movie. She was almost forgettable. But yeah, it looks rough. I don't think let's just say I don't think this movie's going to go anywhere. And it's going to go nowhere pretty fast. Looks really bad. Check out the trailer. Supposedly it's going to come out on November 15th. I'm going to take a wild guess and assume it's not going to do very well, because I think Frozen 2 will be coming out at the same time. Yeah, this one, it's going to be bad. It's going to be ugly. It's just, I think it's going to be one of the biggest money losses of the year. Yeah, it's going to be bad. Anyway, another trailer that I saw today is Disney's The Jungle Cruise trailer with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt. Now, this one is bad also. Pretty interesting. It looks weird. They're trying to take plots from other things, and it just doesn't really make any sense. I don't know how to explain. Oh, I mean, they say it in the trailer. Supposedly, they're trying to find a tree in the middle of the jungle that could help heal anything, which I think is the plot for Anacondas 2, The Search for the Bloody Orchid. I think. But or there was another movie called Congo. I think it's something that I don't remember Congo pretty well, that well, but I think it's kind of that plot. They just go into the middle of the jungle. They're trying to find a cure-all for something. So for some reason she needs an arrowhead to do it. I don't understand it, because I think they're going to South America, and South America they didn't really have arrowheads, or at least not that type, as far as I know. I could be wrong. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't even know where they are, because apparently it is South America, which is really weird. Okay, there's a lot of weird things here. At one point there's a hippo. Hippos are not in South America, and then another point they say that they're in South America. I don't get it. The movie doesn't really make any sense. It's also, I think the natives look like the natives from the Amazon. Now, it's possible that one part of the movie is shown in Africa, another part of the movie is shown in South America. Still doesn't make any sense, because why would a Jungle Cruise guy who's an expert in cruises in Africa be in America? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Also, The Rock is just way too buff for this movie. Really likable guy. Really, really likable guy, but he just looks weird. He looks really out of place. Everybody else it's supposed to be what, the 20s or something? He's just way too big. You don't believe somebody can get that size back then. Also, it just feels like The Mummy, right? And The Mummy was a campy movie, which a lot of people hated, but I loved because it's stupid and ridiculous and funny because it's so ridiculous. And it looks like this movie's trying to be that, because you got this fancy British lady going with the rough American trying to go find a treasure of some sort, and they get into hijinks and shenanigans. I didn't like it. It looked too stupid. It wasn't the type of campy, even though, again, The Rock, likable guy. Emily Blunt, great actress, likable. It just seemed too stupid. It had too many effects. I don't think it's going to do well. In fact, you know what? I hope it doesn't, because they need to stop making these type of movies. It was just stupid. I'm going to have to watch the trailer again just because I want to check out if they say South America and they show a hippo, because there's no hippos in South America, as far as I know. I might be wrong. I don't think I am. Anyway, so yeah, the Disney's Jungle Cruise will be out on July 24th, 2020. Check out the trailer. It looks really stupid. Now, moving on to an actual good trailer. The trailer for the upcoming Sam Mendes film, 1917, dropped earlier this week. Sam Mendes, for those of you who don't know, he directed Skyfall, the last two James Bond movies. What was the one following Skyfall? That one wasn't that great. But anyway, Skyfall was great. He's also directed a whole bunch of... He's a great director. He did, if I'm not mistaken, he did American Beauty. He did Revolutionary Road, which I really enjoyed Revolutionary Road. And Elephant, I think that's another one of his. Anyway, point is, good director. And this movie is about World War I, which, honestly, World War I, I don't get why it doesn't get more play. World War I was super interesting. The reasons why that war started, who we were fighting. Like, take a second right now. And this is a joke, actually, in Friends. Who did we fight in World War I? Do you know? Do you know who we fought in World War I? A lot of people don't know. It was actually Germany. World War II was a consequence of World War I. And, well, the treaties that came afterwards. Point is, I don't know why it doesn't get more play. It's gotten a lot more play lately because of Battlefield 1, and which takes place in World War I. But very interesting period of time. Very interesting period of history. And the Great War, as they called it back then. And supposedly this story centers around two British soldiers that are being sent to deliver a message deliver a message to their forces. They're about to walk into a trap. So the movie looks really good. It's kind of like it's kind of like Saving Private Ryan, like two guys going across a freaking battlefield. But instead of trying to save Private Ryan, they're trying to deliver a message. They're trying to save a whole platoon. So it's like save a whole platoon of Private Ryans. Anyway, It's the point is the movie looks really interesting. The cast is really impressive. It's got Benedict Cumberbatch, Colin Firth, Richard Madden, Mark Strong, and Tommen from Game of Thrones. I don't know his name, but he's there in the trailer. Like, oh my god, you still look like a little bitch. So he's in there, and he does. Check out the trailer. You could. You're like, wow, they're sending 13-year-olds to war. Weird. Anyway, so check that one out. I think that's going to be pretty good. This one comes out on Christmas Day. And now, director Martin Scorsese, for those of you who don't know, he made a few... Oh, but we're moving on to his controversy. He's made quite a few famous films. Like, well, let's see. What would be his biggest one? Taxi Driver would be the biggest one? Goodfellas? Casino? Wolf of Wall Street recently? Gangs of New York? Point is, dude's made a bunch of... He has an amazing film career. He's one of the best of all time, one of my favorite directors, and he said something that pissed everybody off. So, when he was doing an interview, because he has a new movie coming out pretty soon, it's not out yet. It's called The Irishman with Robert De Niro. It looks pretty good. The movie looks pretty good. I think it's going to be on Netflix. And he said something during an interview that just upset everybody. And it has to do with Marvel movies, so I'll just read you the quote. They asked him, like, do you see Marvel movies? What do you think of the Marvel movies? And because they make billions of dollars. And so he says, I don't see them. I tried, but that's not cinema. Honestly, the closest I can think of them is, they're made with good actors. The actors doing their best they can in the circumstances. It's theme parks. It isn't cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experiences to other human beings. So, a lot there. The thing that everybody's focusing on is that's not cinema. So he doesn't consider them to be real cinema. Now, there's a lot of things they could say there, but I think that director James Gunn, the most upsetting thing to me is the same thing that director James Gunn complained about. Now, James Gunn is a guy that I've defended a lot on this podcast because he directed the Guardians of the Galaxy, was fired by Disney because of the whole cancel culture, and he got hired back because Disney realized that they were messing up there. It was unfair what happened to him, and they rectified. So, James Gunn, he put out a tweet, and I'll just read out the tweet. Martin Scorsese is one of my 5 favorite living filmmakers. I was outraged when people picketed The Last Temptation of Christ without having seen the film. I'm saddened that he's now judging my films in the same way. I 100% agree with that sentiment. The crime here is not that he doesn't like the movies. It's not that he doesn't consider them cinema. It's a snobby thing to say. Yes, guaranteed. I agree. It's very snobby. It's like saying it because it's a different style, and honestly, it's a style that I don't think he can make. It's a type of movie that I don't think it's in his wheelhouse. I've seen Martin Scorsese try to do things with CGI. Not the best. They're still decent movies, but not his best. I think Shutter Island, I remember, was the first time he used green screen. I didn't like Shutter Island that much. Hugo was forgettable. Anyway, what was I saying? So, So the thing there that's really upsetting is I don't watch them, but yet you're criticizing them. You said specifically. Also, it means that you tried. He says, I don't see them. I tried, but that's not cinema. Means that he tried watching probably the first ones, which are not great. Right? I'm assuming he did not start off with The Dark Knight. You know what I'm saying? Well, because, again, I get it. That's Marvel. That's DC. That's not Marvel. However, I'm assuming that he's talking right now about the superhero genre in general, right? He's not talking about just Marvel movies. In fact, if he knows, if you do a trivia thing with Martin Scorsese where he has to guess which one's DC and which one's Marvel, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I doubt it. I bet he probably throws Harry Potter in there too. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I don't want to judge, but if I'm taking a guess, all right, based on his answer, I'm guessing he doesn't know the difference. Anyway, so he's saying he doesn't watch the movies, but you're criticizing them, and you're saying that they're not good enough for your standard. These movies made, first off, and I know I don't like using the money argument, because to me, a movie that makes a lot of money doesn't mean it's a good movie. this movies, the Marvel movies, superhero, I'll just use superhero movies in general, have made a buttload more money than all your movies combined. I think one superhero movie has made more money than every single one of your movies combined. To me, that just rings of bitter jealousy. 100%. And it is sad. You are supposed to be above this. You're supposed to be, first off, an adult. and you're an old man, and I get it. But I get why you'd be upset. Like, oh man, I made this movie and I thought it was great, and these pieces of garbage are making all this money. Well, there's a reason for it, right? There's a reason for it. I mean, let's say everybody says, oh, French cuisine is the best cuisine in the world, and you're the best French cuisine chef in the world. Most people don't like French food, okay? McDonald's will still outsell you. It's because they're doing something that works, something that people like. Well, I don't want to be too harsh on the guy, because to me, it's a comment that comes out of ignorance, and that upsets me. The criticism, I hate that there's something that's going on right now. There were a lot of people criticize without knowing. You don't have the full information about something, and yet you're criticizing, and I guess, and part of it is because people want you to have an opinion on things. I'm guessing somebody approached since they approached Martin Scorsese, they're like, oh, no, you have to have an opinion on this because they asked the question. And before, it was like, oh, I don't care. I don't care about this, and but to me, that's not cinema. I guess he could be saying, it's just, to me, it's not what I watch when I go to the movies. I think that's the direction where he's going, based off pure speculation and interviews that I've seen him do in the past. Honestly, that's kind of the way he talks, at least from what I've seen him do before. And so it's like an association of thought thing. Again, I'm probably wrong because I don't know the guy personally, but I'm just basing that's pure speculation. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here. So, James Gunn, he's correct. It's very sad that the thing is that he's not boycotting, he's not asking people to not see them, he's not asking anything. He's just saying, not my cup of tea. To me, that's not cinema. Which, again, sounds very, very bitter. Very, very envious. It's like, dude, you could at least give credit to the people who are doing them. And again, he does say, as well made as they are, but he also drops the comment of the actors doing the best they can under the circumstances. What circumstances? $1 million budgets, getting paid a whole bunch of money, becoming megastars overnight? Like, some unknowns became megastars. That's the cast of Black Panther. Like, what are the circumstances? Like, do you think that they pointed a gun at their heads and be like, no, you're going to be a superhero, because, and the actor's like, no, please, my artistic integrity. No, they're excited to be there. So to me, it's the snobbiness that bugs me. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea, right? There's type of movies I don't like. I don't expect somebody else to like everything that I like, but it's show a little bit more respect, you know? It's it stings that it's coming from somebody like him, who gets so far. As far as I know, Martin Scorsese has been pretty cool with technology. He's been pretty cool about moving in the direction of the future and a lot of things. And here he just sounded like a dinosaur, and like really, 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 really out of it. And it's sad. It's sad because we expect better from them. And we don't like the snobbiness, and we don't like people critiquing the things that we like for no reason. Like, he could have, honestly, if he would have said, if this would have been his quote, which I think would have been slightly more aggressive, I think we'd be fine with it. He would have, if he would have said, what do you think of the Marvel movies? I don't like them. That's why I don't watch them. They're not my cup of tea. That's it. Okay. All right. Good. That's, you don't have to like things. Nobody's forcing you to like anything you don't want to like. But, I don't watch them. I tried, but that's not cinema. Ugh. Snobby, bitter. Do better, Martin. And I'm still excited to see your new movie. So I'm looking forward to that one. And I think, oh my God, 20 minutes. So I think that's it for today. Any comments, questions, suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram. Like I said, you can look forward tomorrow for my second episode of my podcast in Spanish. You can find it on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube as Super Dario World Podcast. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you again tomorrow.